Sarah.
Hi.
How do you feel about breeding your own pets? Like, say, a dog.
I don't think it's right. I don't think it's necessary.
What would be wrong with breeding your own pets?
Because there's so many animals that are in shelters and are on the streets that have to be killed and put to sleep. And they could have plenty of homes. So I don't see the point in people breeding their animals.
But if people couldn't breed their own animals, then you couldn't have purebred dogs or...
Why do you have to have a purebred?
Well, coming from someone like myself that has a purebred boxer, I just feel like these animals have their own sense of humor and personality, so that I would enjoy in a dog. So I myself would want another boxer, and I would want him to be purebred.
Yeah, but you're also sort of passing up on all these other animals that are mixed breeds and their own personalities and their own quirks and their own history and how they got to be where they are. I mean, and just from my own personal experience rescuing animals, I've never had a bad experience with them.
So, from what I'm understanding, you think that the dogs in the shelter are just as great of a pets as a purebred dog would be.
Yes.
Now, that's something that I agree with you on. I do think that they would be just as great of a pet or an animal, but I also do think that people should be allowed to breed their own animals. What do you think about
Well, the thing is, though, about people breeding their own animals, that just puts up the green light for puppy mills and animals that are just born in their entire lives is just breeding. And I think that's just a miserable life for an animal, and it's abuse.
I definitely feel where you're coming from there. I don't like abuse towards animals. Definitely something that I'm against, and I think we're on the same page with that. But I don't feel like animals, as long as they are being treated correctly, should have restrictions on what you can do with them. People should be able to have what kind of dog they want. Like, I know I have a friend who has an animal that's, I think, a small poodle mixed with a golden retriever,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to genetically modify that dog for it to be that way. And it's a very sweet dog, and you just couldn't have that happen if we were only getting dogs from
Like shelters?
shelters.
Well, but that too, I mean, I just think it's such a waste for people to breed animals on purpose when there's so much money and so many animals that could use homes, and yet people are spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands, on, purebred dogs or golden retriever poodle things. I mean, yeah, an animal's going to be nice, and that also depends on the owner, too. And just from my own experience from volunteering at Pounds and Humane Societies, there's just so many good animals that come and go, and then they have to be put to sleep, or they're just alone.
That is very sad. I mean, it's something that I could definitely change my mind on, and I do go to animal shelters a lot just to be around the animals there, because I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
But I just think that I wouldn't be anywhere without my dog, and I know that he is a purebred. He was bred in someone's backyard, my neighbor's backyard, I just don't know what I would do without them. But something that I am very against is dog fighting.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to be kind of crazy to agree with that. I mean, that's firstly, you have your purebred dog that you bred, you know, on purpose, and then you're just throwing it in a ring and letting it rip another animal to shreds. I mean,
That's terrible.
and I mean, I know a lot of that has to do with history, and you know, they used to do it a long time ago, but really, if you'd rather watch something like that, just have, you know, just watch a wrestling match or something.
Right.
I don't see why you would want to watch an animal do that.
And how do you feel about pit bulls?
I like pit bulls. I think any dog is a good dog. It just depends on the owner.
Yeah, we are definitely on the same page there. I just feel like people give them such a bad rep for something that they have no control over themselves. The owners make them who they are.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and they're high energy dogs, and yeah, a dog's gonna be aggressive if it's pent up in a house all day, or you know, the owners just don't treat it good or don't give it that much attention. I mean, I've met aggressive labs and and bulldogs and pugs and stuff. You know, it just depends on the owner and how the owner treats them, and has them towards other people. I mean, any dog is a good dog. It just depends on the owner.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, and I I sort of feel like that's how it is with any kind of animal you have.
Mhm.
It's how you treat it and the attention you give it. And some dogs are just aggressive towards people because some people don't know how to act around dogs, and they feed off of that.
Yep, they can read your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you worked at an animal shelter?
I volunteered at the Humane Society all during high school, and I'd go into the pounds too.
How was the problem with the cats there?
There's a lot of cats. It's just insane the amount of cats that are in shelters.
Yeah, it really is. Cats are definitely overpopulated, and people really need to spay and neuter their animals.
I mean, that kind of goes for, I feel like that goes for all animals, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but people do the same thing with cats. You know, they breed them, and they want their purebred. And I know people take their dogs to dog shows, and it's all, or you have it part of like the kennel club society thing. But I feel like that's just all sort of for show, and I think people really miss out on a lot of great pets when they don't give shelters a chance and they just want purebreds. And there's purebreds in shelters.
There are.
So
There are.
I just think before someone goes off and hands a couple grand to a breeder, or is supporting the puppy mill, business, that they should really check out their shelters.
Something that bothers me, though, is I understand that humane societies need to make their money, too, from the animals, but I feel like they are charging too much for dogs and cats. Like, sometimes I used to go to the animal shelters downstate, and it would be $300 to get a dog.
Well, and partially that is because when you get a dog from the Humane Society, they neuter it and they give it all their shots. So that's what you're paying for.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. You're not just paying to get an animal.
Yeah,
Because when an animal leaves the Humane Society, they have it neutered because they don't want any more puppies or happy accidents
right.
coming back into the Humane Society, the shelter.
which is good. I guess I'd never thought about it that way. I just always seen the price tag and I thought like they should be giving those animals away if it's to a decent home.
No, it's because they'll make sure they're neutered, that they're healthy, that they've had their rabies vaccines, all that stuff. A lot of the time.
I guess I just never thought about it that way.
Well, and also when that money is going towards the Humane Society, it's going towards food, it's going towards the building, it's going towards the people that have to work there, and all the care. I mean, that's a lot of money for a lot of animals. So I mean, it's like, yeah, you're buying, that's a lot of money, but at the same time you're supporting the shelter.
Yeah, you have to support the shelter or the animals wouldn't have a place to live.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for talking to me, Sarah.
You're welcome, Hannah.